Hello, grade 11. Welcome to lecture number 4. As I've mentioned from the previous lecture, that from lecture 3 onwards, we're going to talk about hypothesis testing, and we're actually halfway on the entire course. So, lecture number 4, the lectures are up to 7 lang. 7 lang. Okay, let's begin. By the way, our lesson, lecture number 4, is about hypothesis testing on one population. At the end of the lesson, you must be able to, number one, we're going to enumerate the steps in hypothesis testing, actually the general steps. And number two, we're going to perform hypothesis testing on one population mean, proportion, and variance. Okay. So, but for this lecture, I'll just be talking about population mean, and then I'm going to create other videos for variance and population proportion. Let's have a preview. We've done this on lectures 2 and 3, the estimation and the hypothesis testing. So for hypothesis testing, we'll talk about this one for lecture number 4, hypothesis test on one population. And then for lecture 5, two population. 6, we're talking about ANOVA. And for final, we're going to talk about correlation analysis. And here are the general steps that we're going to follow in hypothesis testing. First one is going to state your null and alternative hypothesis both in words and in symbols. Number two, we're going to determine the appropriate test procedure and test statistic. I'm going to show you the test statistic every lecture yung gagamitin natin for that particular test. And for the test procedure, I'm going to provide a table that you can use to decide which is the most appropriate test to be used. Number three, we're going to choose the level of significance, alpha. If it's not stated in the problem, our default will be 0.05 or at 5%. Normally, it's 1%, 5%, or 10%. Number four, we're going to formulate the decision rule. This is one statement based on the appropriate test procedure. Number five, we're going to calculate the value of the test statistic. We're going to compute the value of the test statistic using the formula we identified in step number 2. And number 6, we're going to decide whether to reject the null hypothesis or will not reject the null hypothesis. And finally, because we rejected or not rejected the null hypothesis, we're going to answer the problem and make appropriate conclusions. Let's have the first one, which is the test on one population mean mu. Your null hypothesis, mu is equal to a hypothesized mean. But sometimes it's less than or equal or greater or equal. For the test statistic, we're going to use this formula to compute for the computed value of t. That's the reason why it's t sub c is equal to x bar, which is the sample mean, minus the mu, the population mean, all over the standard error, s over square root of n. Take note, we're going to do the one population mean test of hypothesis on one population mean for those cases where we don't know the population standard deviation. Usually, if you consult a book, they will be discussing this test by first differentiating the case where you know the population standard deviation, and the case where you don't know the population standard deviation. But in most cases in real life, we don't know the population standard deviation. So, yun muna yung consider natin for this lecture. And for every test, there will be several underlying assumptions. So you need to satisfy these assumptions before you can proceed with the test. So the first one is samples are independently drawn from the target population using simple random sampling, usually stated in the problem. Number two, your standard random variable must be normally distributed when n is less than 25, because there will be cases that you don't need to satisfy the normality of the distribution where your sample came from if your n is more than 25, if your n is large, because of the central limit theorem. But in some cases, in the event that your n is small, how small? When in this case is less than 25, x must be normally distributed. And number three, variables that are measured must be in at least interval scale. So dapat interval or ratio. Okay. Kung hindi man masatisfy ito, there will be some alternative tests to be used. But in this lecture and in our succeeding lectures, we will be assuming that these assumptions were satisfied. Okay, so but in research 2, in statistics 2, you will be dealing with those tests that for this case hindi na satisfy yung mga assumptions na to. Okay, so after satisfying all those assumptions, then the next thing you need to do is to decide what test to be used. But again, katulad sinabi ko kanina, we will assume that all those assumptions were satisfied sa mga tests na gagawin natin. But in research 2, we will be dealing with those cases where some of the assumptions were not satisfied. So what will be the alternative? Okay, I will be providing tables that look like this one in order for you to select properly what test procedure to use. And basically, the first thing you need to consider is the symbols for your alternative hypothesis. If you use not equal, then you will consider this row. If it's greater than or less than, then you will consider the last two rows. Okay, and also the second thing you need to consider is whether your n is small, whether it's less than 25, or if it's large, if it's at least 25. Then you have to select. So this is the decision rule actually. So at specified alpha, we're going to reject your null hypothesis if, for example, you are in less than 25. So if your absolute value of t, the computed value of t, is greater than the tabular value, then you're going to reject the null hypothesis. Otherwise, hindi mo siya reject. Okay? Take note for greater than or equal to 25, sa z, tabular value of z natin kinompare. The reason why is that the distribution of t when n is large actually approaches a normal distribution. So halos parehas areas under the normal distribution if your n is large. Okay. Let's have example number 1. This is actually the same example that we did on the previous lecture. This is about data consumption. A researcher from the Student Support and Services Office would like to know if the current average data consumption per day of senior high school students is more than 800 MB. Which actually in the case, no? He took a random sample of 10 students and recorded their average data consumption in a month at 5% level of significance, determine if there is a need to increase the budget allotment of the office for their internet subsidy program. And here are the list of the average monthly consumption of the randomly selected 10 students. Okay. Wala akong sinabi dito kung nagawa ba natin yung tatlong assumptions. The first one, kailangan randomly selected. Yeah, it's what's stated here. They are randomly selected. Yung third assumption, at least interval level of measurement. Yeah, at least interval. So ratio to. And the other one is normally distributed. So wala nakalito, but let's assume that the population where this data came from is normally distributed. Okay. So I have written here the steps in hypothesis testing para guided tayo. And the first one is we're going to state the null and alternative hypothesis, which we actually did in the last lecture. The first thing you need to consider is ano ba yung claim or ano ba yung gustong itest ng researcher. The researcher would like to know if the students are using data more than 800 MB. Kasi kung it's more than 800 MB, they've proven that it's more than 800 MB, then there will be an increase in the budget allotment for that particular program. So it's more than 800 MB, more than. So hindi yun null, no? That's alternative. That's more than. And your null, pwedeng less than or equal, kabaliktaran ng greater than. But for this case, we'll just consider equal kasi kung ma-prove natin na less than, actually hindi natin ma-prove na less than. Kasi kung less than, babawasan ba yung budget? Mukhang hindi naman, no? So equal na lang. So for your null, the average data consumption per day of senior high school student is equal to 800 MB. In symbol, is this one. By the way, we have to define mu. Mu is the average, what's this? The average data consumption. Okay? Daily, average daily consumption. Your alternative will be more than, so your symbol will look like this one. So we're done with number 1. First step. The second step is we're going to determine the appropriate test procedure and the test statistic. Babalikan natin yung table kanina. Okay, so here's the table. And recall the alternative hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis states that mu is more than 800 MB. So, tingin tayo sa HA natin. Going to look at this. So our test procedure will be a one-tailed t-test. And your n is 10. So it's less than 25. So dito lang tayo sa column na to. So at a specified alpha, which in this case is 5%, we're going to reject HO if the computed value of t is more than the tabular value. Otherwise, we fail to reject HO. So we're done with number 2. Choose the level of significance. In this case, the level of significance is at 5%. Again, if the default natin, kung hindi stated yung level of significance, we're going to use 5%. Okay, so we have one-tailed t-test and then alpha equals 0.05. The next thing you need to do is we're going to formulate the decision rule. Actually, yung decision rule natin is just one statement that will guide us sa pagde-decide natin whether to reject or not to reject the null hypothesis. So let's bring back the table. So, mabilis lang to. All you have to do is to write at 5% level of significance, we're going to reject the null hypothesis if we're going to copy this, the computed value of C, or the computed value of T is more than the tabular value. And we have this one. So this is very important. Otherwise, we fail to reject HO. So yung mga cases na if it's not greater than, so it's less than, so we fail to reject the null hypothesis. So we're done with this part. We've come up with our decision rule. And the next thing we need to do is we're going to calculate the value of the test statistic. So computation na tayo. But first, let's identify the given values. We know that n is 10 and mu is 800. So mu is 800, n is 10. We're going to compute x bar and s. That's the sample mean and the standard deviation, sample standard deviation. Of course, you can just get the mean of this, but you can use your calculator actually. So input natin lahat ng values. If you're using Casio, so set your calculator in stat mode and then input all the data. So you have here encoded all the data. And then you activate your stat functions, get the mean. So what I have here is 958. And the sample standard deviation, that's SX, we have 245.12. So you have those values. And we're now ready to substitute this on our formula. So let's substitute. Your x bar is 958, your mu is 800, your s is 245, and your n is 10. So just substitute them and then get your calculator to compute. And here, your computed value of t is 2.0383. So normally, up to 4 decimal places yung kinukuha natin. So check na tayo sa number 5. And we're now ready to do number 6. We're going to decide whether to reject or not to reject your null hypothesis. Okay. But the problem here is we don't know the tabular value. So alam na natin yung computed value, but we don't know the tabular value. We don't know if this is greater than the tabular value. So yung gawin natin, we're going to consult our t table. So here's our decision rule. We need t alpha, your alpha is 0.05 by the way, t alpha, and then your degrees of freedom is 10 minus 1, which is 9. So we need to locate this value sa t table natin. So here's t table. One-tailed, two-tailed yung ginamit natin. One-tailed, no? So dito tayo sa area na to. One-tailed. And then, your alpha is 0.05. So dito tayo. And your degrees of freedom is 9. So here. So our tabular value is 1.833. Okay, let's go back to this one. So your tabular value is 1.833. So obviously, no, mas mataas to kesa dito. So our decision will be to reject the null hypothesis because our computed value of t, which is 2.0383, is greater than the tabular value of t, which is 1.833. So we reject the null hypothesis. We reject this in favor of this one. So sabihin, your data is sufficient enough to say that the data consumption is actually more than 800 MB. Balikan natin yung tanong. Ano bang sabi sa tanong? We're going to determine if there is a need to increase the budget allotment. So since we found out that on the average, more than 800 MB na talaga yung nagagamit nila, so therefore, there is sufficient evidence to conclude that there is a need to increase the budget allotment for the internet subsidy. Okay. So let's have a review. General steps in hypothesis testing. The first thing you need to do is to, of course, read the problem and understand the problem. Number one, you're going to state a null and alternative hypothesis, both in words and in symbols. Number two, you're going to determine the appropriate test to be used using the table that it will be providing with you. Number three, you're going to choose the level of significance. Again, if it's not stated, our default will be 0.05. Formulate the decision rule based on the table. Calculate the value of the test statistic. Okay? Ito yung formula natin. And then, number six, you're going to decide whether to reject or not to reject the null hypothesis. And lastly, dun nga pala, number six, you're going to get the tabular value. And number seven, you're going to make appropriate conclusion. You go back to the problem, sagutin nyo kung ano yung gustong sagutin sa problem. And that's it.